What's up, everybody? It's Joe La Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. As always, I am joined by my two friends. To my right, Mr. Matt Welty.
We made it?
Made it. Some traffic troubles. Can't take the train anymore, but he's here. Wipe that little bead of sweat from your forehead. We're here. We're settled. Of course, he was here on time.
Back from the holiday, baby.
Yes.
How was you guys' Thanksgiving?
Low-key, very chill.
Long Island?
Long Island.
Did you watch House of Gucci?
I didn't watch House of Gucci.
What?
I didn't.
Are you offended by the stereotypes maybe that it involves, or
I missed this whole thing, so.
you don't think you'll go see it? It's an important movie, I feel like, for Italian Americans.
I watched the DMX documentary.
You're not interested in House of Gucci, Welty? I know you haven't seen House of Gucci.
I haven't seen it. No, I don't watch Netflix, sort of.
But it's not
situation.
Netflix.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
It's a movie.
Okay. Oh, I don't watch those things.
What
You don't wait, he said you don't watch those things? You don't watch movies?
I really don't.
What I
to be
did
honest.
watch was Kevin Hart
I
and
tried.
Wesley Snipes in True Story. I highly recommend it.
He
You already said you're not going to watch
doesn't watch movies.
Netflix, okay? But I binged that on Saturday. It was
Okay.
really good. I
Okay.
recommend it.
Damn, I thought I was going to strike a chord with you on House of Gucci.
You had that in your back
the
pocket?
accents. Are...
Wait, I saw some things like, did Gucci say like we're offended by this or something?
Yeah, the whole Gucci family is not rocking with it at all.
You know who was offended?
Who?
Premium Pete.
Well, Premium Pete didn't like the movie?
No, Premium Pete was offended by the situation.
Okay,
Oh,
so
sorry. The situation
topic within
meaning
a topic.
the situation meaning
Mike, the situation, who was on Full Size Run.
yes, from Jersey Shore. What
I
did
wasn't
Premium Pete say?
offended.
Oh, he's not a real Italian. Da, 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 da. Which actually, Mike Sorrentino,
You sure he wasn't talking about me?
real Italian, but Pete.
I enjoyed that episode. I think he was happy to be here.
Does he qualify as a real Italian in your
Sure.
in your book?
Sure, I thought he was happy to be here.
Yeah, it was-
Put the caption
damn.
up. Hold on. Put the caption up of him in front of the complex sign. The caption that he put
Yes.
is like he took over
Yes.
as CEO.
Yeah.
Like what was it? New beginnings, new opportunities. Him in
Yes.
front, and you would have thought that we just appointed him CEO. But I enjoyed that episode.
Creative director.
I liked when I screened that episode. I was like in the control room with you when you guys
You were laughing, yeah.
Did you have the headset on in the control room?
No
Were you calling
headset.
shots, pressing
No
buttons?
headset. No headset. But the best part is when I think Conceited was like, "Can you go into sneaker stores?" He's like, "I haven't really been into a sneaker store in a while, but when I get my morning coffee, it's flattering because people reckon that was the best line. The best line."
I don't want to give too much sauce, but is it too much to say what Abdul told us
No.
yesterday? So Abdul sends Abdul, friend of the show, obviously been on the show,
Yep.
sends me and Brendan a text yesterday. Actually, after we got off of the Full Size Run set with Travie McCoy episode live now, go watch it. And he goes, situation having sunglasses on the whole time, but looking over the glasses to talk to you guy might be the top 5 nastiest moves by an Italian American.
Wow. I enjoyed that episode.
Oh my god.
He had the Yeezys on, just hilarious. And I hope people sometimes realize, like, content is content.
Yeah.
I know that sneakers.
Not that you don't want to have serious sneaker talks all the time, but not every episode has to be like the most like in-depth, like I was there in 1991.
But Welty,
Tinker designed the
will
5.
you admit that I've been telling you this for years?
Uh-oh.
Seriously.
Uh-oh.
Will you admit that? When
Also,
you would be like,
the
you
Jordan
would be,
5 was 1990, but go on.
Oh,
the what?
Go on.
okay. Yes, you're right, Brendan.
The what?
Go on.
I didn't hear it. But Welty, would you admit
Mixed
that
to Europe.
Would you,
Anyways.
that's okay.
No, sorry, no, it's
Welty,
a
like,
minor detail.
would you admit that past guests years ago for sneaker shopping, and then I would tell you, like, listen, man, sometimes we're not always going to get super sneaker knowledgeable or sneaker heads, I should say, not
Yeah,
even knowledgeable.
I
And
get
I
that.
remember, and I think that you are warming up to it more now because you and I, I used to turn around and. I know that you have to watch the edits, which I obviously appreciate. And some you were like, man, what does this person know? But like, I think this is like a breakthrough for you a little bit.
I feel like I agree with what you're saying.
Okay.
I feel like for me, the thing I've learned is that I'm totally cool with shooting episodes with people who maybe aren't like the number one biggest like sneaker purist or whatever.
It has to be a mix.
But there has to be like a hook to get me into the door. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a reason of why I actually like want to talk to this person.
So is the Gucci pants for situation.
It was just I just
That's
thought
a Gucci.
I just thought talking to situation would
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
That's exactly.
Like
And it
Asher
was
Roth,
really fun.
not a sneaker guy, but I'm like, oh, it would be fun to interview Asher Roth. Sometimes there's like maybe a little bit of like disconnect where it's like not a sneaker person and like don't care about talking to them. So it's like, why? No, I'm not saying that we've done that, but like just the concept of like,
Yeah. Okay.
anyways, I don't want to poo-poo anything in the future, but
No. And also, I got to mention, we were happy to have our friend Conceited for a
Yes.
quick guest episode. Although I feel like he might have cursed the Oregon Ducks because he came with the
tripped.
Oregon PEs.
and they got absolutely smacked by Utah.
And then,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
right after that, Oregon lost to Utah.
What was the score on that? It was pretty bad. It was like
I think it was
42
like-
to 14 or something like that.
I want to say we only scored 7 points. I thought it was like 35-7 or something like that. So Oregon is out of contention for the college football playoffs. And I also, it was a rough weekend that weekend for me of college football because I also lost a good amount of money on OSU Michigan. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that game at all, but
Yeah.
And a lot
I bet on Michigan. Let's just put it that way.
And the new
Ohio State. I'm sorry, I have to. Was
Sorry,
up.
go
Wait,
ahead.
Michigan won the game.
No. Sorry, we're doing a little bit of catch up because I feel like we haven't recorded an episode in a while because
Yes.
we last week put up the Gentry episode that we recorded a month
Yes.
ago. Michigan lost to Ohio State. I'm not talking about the game that happened this past weekend. I'm talking about the weekend before that.
Oh, boy.
When Michigan played Ohio State and Ohio State was up at the half 49-0
Dude.
on Michigan.
Oh God.
You got this totally wrong.
Go
Michigan-
on. Tell me.
Michigan beat Ohio State last weekend. It was like
Oh, I'm sorry. Michigan State. I'm sorry. Michigan State.
Little early.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
a little
sorry.
early.
Pardon me.
It's a little
You were
early.
right. I am wrong. Sometimes we make
Bong.
mistakes.
Very rarely.
Look, I'm happy we correct each other. I corrected you with the Jordan 5s. You corrected me with college football. So
It's karma. It comes back,
yes,
right?
Yes. I
Well,
love
you
that.
were still
Everything-
late, so no.
No. Come on. We're past that. Okay. Everything I just said was wrong. Just substitute Michigan
Do a
State.
rewind.
No, don't do a rewind.
Okay.
We own up to our mistakes. Substitute Michigan State and all that. I lost $1,000. Whatever. Anyways.
Okay.
What else do we have to do catching up wise? Oh, this is important to me. And this may be a mistake. Joe, you said in our Slack channel, sometimes we can
Yes.
air out our private discussions that you were a big rollerblader growing up.
I was not a big rollerblader.
You wanted to be a big
I
rollerblader?
tried.
You were a
In
failed
Bayshore,
rollerblader?
there were years where there was like extreme rollerblading, and it was like the Jenko jeans era.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
And
That was an era.
I could not skateboard at all, so I tried to do rollerblading, and
Which
you
seems like it'd be easier, right?
Much easier.
is it?
Yeah.
You had like the grind plates. Did you ever try?
I know. Well, I used to rollerblade because I
You
played.
rollerbladed too?
No, because I played hockey growing up.
Oh, so did I. But I was good at.
I'm the only one among us who wasn't a rollerblader?
I was good at hockey, like roller hockey. Like, to be honest, at the Bayshore roller rink,
You were pulling shorties?
I was like one of the leading scorers in the league. To be honest, but hardcore rollerblading was not my thing.
But you wanted it to be a thing.
All I wanted to do was do a soul grind.
What is that?
It's like when the rollerblades are like this, and you go like that, and you grind, like you wax the curb. I could never do it. I knew one trick, which was just a regular grind, it's like basically ollieing, I guess.
Yeah. It's not alling, it's just jumping. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no equivalent.
There's no like. Well, there's coordination, but not as much.
You just have to jump up, right? But you were sliding down a rail on the rollerblades?
I was sliding down.
I can't wait for Reese to animate this.
It was really. I was so bad at this. And
Well, I think the quote was you said you'd go around Bayshore waxing curves,
Yes.
knowing that a grind, not one single grind,
not
would be
one
had.
grind was to be had. And I would just go around waxing the curb, trying to fit in the thing. There were people who were really good. There was like a rail that was on top of like stairs, and it was like super high. And
Yeah.
if you did that, it was like a badge of honor. And I could never do it. But yeah, when we're young, we try a lot of things. Rollerblading, hardcore rollerblading was not my thing.
Hardcore. I love that you have
That's
to
what it's
qualify.
called,
This is
right?
Hardcore rollerblading.
I think people called it inline.
This is not
rollerblading.
no regular
Anyways.
rollerblading. Oh my goodness. What else? Oh, you know what, Welty?
But
We need to put a PSA out there because I want to get to the bottom of this.
okay.
Halo?
Oh yeah, they ripped us off.
I mean, see, that's the thing. And tell me if you feel differently. Joe, did you see this Halo thing? In the new Halo game, there's a loading screen that says
I
drip,
saw
flip,
your
or skip.
tweets. I saw
No,
your
it says
tweets.
drip, skip, or flip.
Okay, so they got it slightly wrong, but they
We got
definitely
the
took it
legal
from
team
us.
on it?
See, I don't want to take it that far. Do you feel offended, Welty?
I said I want royalties.
I just want to know who that is involved with Halo and making that game is a member of the FS Army. How did that get into? And to me, it's cool. I don't feel annoyed or like they like ripped us off.
Do you feel like
it's like a cool
do you
tribute.
feel like they intentionally flipped it so it wasn't a one-on-one?
Ooh, I feel like that's giving them too much credit. But speaking of credit, we want our credit. I want to know who works on Halo.
Yeah, we got to know.
Put that little full-size run reference in there.
So we also have to talk about the passing of Virgil Abloh.
Of course.
Obviously a shock to everyone. Really, we talked Sunday morning.
Yeah, I think we all learned about it at around the same time because we were texting about it.
And this is a monumental loss. And just thinking about it, how I think seeing all the tributes and just from like personal experience, how accessible he was, and how the thing about him that sticks out is like he was on another level, honestly, in this space. And whenever you would see him, no matter what he was doing, he always made you feel like you were somehow like on the level that he was. His humbleness and his grace, which is so rare in general and so rare in this industry. Like this industry is kind of like, it's very competitive and
totally.
And
a lot of people are too cool to talk to you.
Exactly. Like I think about like when I remember we used to joke about like the Magic trade show, how it was like a bunch of, you would just go there and it would be like everyone like kind of eyeing each other. And like, I just remember just like every time that you would come in contact with Virgil, or we're seeing like everyone has a text or a DM with him, how he made you feel like you were doing something so monumental when this guy
did everything
and was so inspirational. And when you thought that you had a busy day, this guy was in 3 places at one time, touching so many parts of the culture. And then the product that we all know changed everything, like of our generation. We were fortunate to be front and center for the 10 and to see his product progression. And everything you hear, you come at it from 2 sides, where you know him for the product and how consistent and good it was. We always talk like end of the year that it was always in the conversation of the best of the year, but you see everyone talking about his humbleness and how nice he was and how supportive he was. And it just is it's a loss for this. Our condolences to his family and his close friends, of course. And he was like the North Star for this generation to me.
Yeah, what an incredible loss. Like you said, I feel so fortunate to have experienced this era and been a part of it in some small way, to have gone to the Nike off-campus events when they first launched the 10 in New York and all those lectures that happened here, to have watched the sneakers releasing and see what they mean, see how the culture embraces them and things like that. I mean, it's just been such a treat. I think of just all the stuff he gave us, all, the 10, the 50 dunks this summer, Louis Vuitton. He made Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones a real thing. That alone on a resume is incredible. But when you look at the whole body of work, it's so gigantic and so impressive. He was almost on the level of a signature athlete at Nike. The stuff he did at Nike eclipsed to some extent what other like signature athletes have done. He never got a signature shoe, his own silhouette per se, but the way he was reworking things and the boundaries he was able to push, and the way that the 10 looked, and for a black designer to be at that level at Nike, at Louis Vuitton, just incredible stuff. So I echo everything you said, Joel. Just peace to his soul and his family and his time.
And how many times are we like, oh, we're too busy to do that. We're too busy to do that. Even with some of our friends, like, no, I'm too busy. And it just felt like he was the busiest, and he was never too busy to
just like
offer support.
Like literally working like 24/7. Like you don't know what his personal life was like per se, but it just seemed like he never turned it off.
And I'm thankful for the ComplexCon year where he was just in the mix, like having those workshops, and the kids got a chance to see him, and just extremely thankful to even exchange DMs with him and it's just a lot of people. I think you texted me, and a lot of people we were talking about it. And the one thing that just came to my mind is like, it'll never be the same. It will not be the same without him. So prayers and condolences to his family, and he will continue to be an inspiration to all of us. And
absolutely. And I think we're giving away some sneakers this week, as we always do, and it's a moment where we can reflect on Virgil a little bit more, because our question of the week does tie back to his sneaker legacy.
It does.
So our question of the week is from Jared Smith in Tucson, Arizona. He asked, what is your favorite sneaker Virgil designed, and why is it special to you? A relevant question, given what we were just talking about, giving the tragic news of this week. But by the way, as always, the PSA for the eBay stuff, we give away a free pair of sneakers every week on the show. You can go to ebay.complex.com to submit a question for us to answer here and there. If we pick your question, we're going to give you a free pair of shoes. Also, just so people know, I don't think we've ever explicitly said this before, this is only for U.S. residents. Some people have hit me and complained, and they want to know. I don't really owe those people anything, but we do owe them the explanation of this is only open to U.S. residents. So we appreciate your input. If not, but you won't be selected. Anyways, that being said, let's answer the question. And also, Joe, let's show Jared what he has won this week.
Yeah, so Jared, timely question. Good question.
Yeah.
These shoes, though. Where do these rank on the shoes that we've given away? Let's just
pretty high up.
Number 2.
Number 1 is the Tiffany.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
That's a special sneaker.
The Nike Dunkel SB 2004 pink box era.
Yeah, pink sneaker.
Futura designs it. A band, Uncle. I mean, what can you say about this shoe? Just look at it. This is art.
It's one of those sneakers.
A lot of people say like, oh, sneakers are art. They are. This is art.
And also a cool connection back to Virgil, because it has the Point Man characters on there. And you remember when Virgil brought Futura out at Paris Fashion Week?
He also did
and they
those
had that
unreleased.
Those unreleased dunks that,
I wonder if those
it's
will ever
closing
come out.
the loop. A big Virgil mention. So,
These.
Is that a Nike Japan tag on them? In addition to the eBay authenticity guarantee tag. We got to mention
Of course.
That.
Nike Japan tag. This is
crazy.
Just look at the details on this.
Crispy. So do we want to talk about our favorite Virgil sneakers?
So I'm wearing the off-white ones that he signed. That he hit me. He hit me when I think he was in New York City for the 10 press event.
Mm-hmm. That off-campus thing at Wall Street. Yeah.
It was dark in there, right?
Yeah.
With all like the Jordan. And
big hall with all the shoes displayed.
And I think people there was a wave of people getting their shoes, right? Mm-hmm. And he hit me and he was like, hey, go to this hotel in the lobby and pick these up. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
I was like, I don't think it was the Mercer either. Notoriously, they have history with the Mercer. I was like, okay, I go into the lobby and I'm like, again, for someone who's so busy, there's no way that he just is making time, right? Yeah. And sure enough, I go in the lobby. The first thing is you get the shoes, which is amazing. And then the second part is are they signed? Are they signed? And he signed them. And I think I've worn these 4 times. This is the 4th time. Mm-hmm. I wore them for the Michael B. Jordan episode of Sneaker Shopping. I wore them to go back to my high school, and I'm wearing them today. These are very special, but my favorite are the first Prestos, which coincidentally I played basketball in Aspen, which we talked about. Yeah. And next week I will be going to Aspen with Kith.
Nice.
So
yeah, I think those Prestos are
the Prestos are.
Is that your favorite too, Welty?
Yeah, I feel
unbelievable looking.
I feel like
great
there's
looking.
because we put out lists of the best off-white sneakers, and it's everyone always expects this one to be number 1 because it's the most iconic or whatever. But I just think the Presto to me was the best of the 10 because it was a really good shoe, and that shoe, obviously a great shoe, but it was such a hype beast level shoe at one point.
Which took something away from it for you.
Yeah, where it was kind of it was obviously, I'm not taking away from Virgil's design on the shoe, and I feel that's how a lot of I differentiate a lot of Virgil's work, where I look into the work he actually did on the shoes, and I can separate it from just the kind of hype beast stereotypes that maybe followed the work a little bit. But I think I'd put out a tweet last night where I was like, these were my like
I saw that.
4 favorite Virgil shoes. 'Cause I had to go through it.
Interesting mix too.
Yeah.
Which I love because it just shows that everyone has a different group. And
there's so many shoes that he did.
Exactly.
It was the Presto, the Serena Williams Air Max 97.
The Tan 90.
The Tan 90 with the orange swoosh. And then the 1 of 50 Dunk. I just love that shoe with the yellow sole. So those are my favorite Virgil sneakers.
I was watching a bunch of lectures of his this week in anticipation of writing something about all his work in sneakers, and the Presto was an interesting one because I think they said when they did the prototype of that, when they first made it, that they had taken an Air Max 90 and inverted it so that the upper that it was built of was like a Air Max 90 flipped inside out. And I almost want to do the experiment myself and X-Acto an Air Max 90 upper off the sole and see what it looks like flipped inside out, and if you can kind of recreate that Presto style. The one I'm wearing right now is my favorite, Off-White Jordan 5.
And this is the thing. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here. It's
great shoe.
Like,
I love it.
Different level.
Yeah. And
just a different level.
The thing with me, too, is like I always become more endeared to sneakers when I write about them extensively or when I have the opportunity to interview people involved with them. And the 10, I never really like interviewed any of the designers who worked on those shoes about those shoes, but these Jordan 5s, I wrote about them in the Complex Sneaker of the Yearbook. And so I talked to Don C about these sneakers. He didn't contribute to the design, but obviously is in that circle. I talked to Jimo Wong, who worked on the shoes. I talked to Paul Salvici, Israel Mateo, who we mentioned on this podcast a lot. And so getting to have the firsthand view into how they were created really helped me appreciate them more. And I think understand them more, because a lot of times I feel like a Nike press release doesn't give you the context you need to really understand and appreciate a design. I think to some extent that's our job. And that's what helps cement this Jordan 5.
They look so good. Yeah. They look so good.
I think, it's like I don't want to say a vindication, but like when we picked that as the sneaker of the year for that year, I feel like there was a lot of hate on it.
Oh, really?
What was it between?
Even you had it on the sneaker of the year panel.
Or the Chunky Dunky.
The Chunky Dunky or the Dior one. But now, like looking back, it's not just because Virgil passed away, but it's like that shoe to me is so much better than a Chunky Dunky or a Dior one.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful shoe.
Actually, mentioning Don C too, such an interesting conversation I had with him in relation to this shoe, because as I was listening back to the interview, he said at one point, if in hundreds of years from now, when Virgil is no longer on the earth, people will still understand what Virgil work looks like because he created such a specific design language. And he likened it to Steve Jobs, where Steve Jobs is no longer around, but people can still feel what a Steve Jobs product looks like. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So, Jared?
Yes.
Getting a great pair.
Yes.
And, these are on their way to you. So enjoy these.
All right. Should we bring out our guest, our friend? I don't even want to call this person a guest. It feels weird that we did the whole banter part without this person, because this person is
probably could have done it.
Yeah, this person is a friend.
This is a
coworker.
Friend. This guy is a family member. This guy is an extended.
Are we on Italian time now?
This guy is La Familia, extended family. Like, so happy. I think the guy, he pushed his flight back. He's had a busy few weeks.
Of course.
A busy few weeks.
Second time on the podcast.
Second time on the podcast. ComplexCon booths, not one, not two, three of them. Moving units.
Hat-trick, baby.
Got his own shoe. So happy to have him here. So happy to see him. Our friend, our family, Mr. Trinidad James.
Gentlemen.
How are you?
I feel incredible, man. It's a great time in my life.
It really is. You got the past few weeks, like I just said, must be amazing for you.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a learning experience. It's everything that you could think about happened all at once, but like in a great way. It's in the lessons that I learned, whether it's hard, it's like nothing ever really feels bad. It might feel like a weight, but it doesn't feel bad. It's like if I breathe and like just take a second to kind of like observe it or change the perspective, it really helps me to like, okay. Boom, I learned fast.
You dropped your own sneaker.
Yes.
You know what? Actually, obviously I'm incredibly happy for you. But also I'm jealous on a level because everybody sitting here is like actually in the sneaker industry or was at one point, except me. These guys worked sneaker retail. I was talking to Trinidad the other day. He's talking about sell-through rates and being on meetings with Saucony. I'm like, this motherfucker's more industry than me now.
Look at.
Nah, man, it's definitely it's just growth. You know what I'm saying? It's growth, and it's actually like being intentional with what really matters. You know, I think I've been a consumer for so long, and been on the one side of the spectrum where, you know, a lot of us has been where it's like, you know, we get cool shoes and we rock them cool. And people know us for having all the different cool shoes, no matter what your medium is or how you approach it. Like Welty approaches it a certain way. Joe, you approach it a certain way. Brendan, myself, you know what I'm saying? But like, I really, when the opportunity came my way, you know, the pandemic really kicked it off for me to like slow down. Well, I had to slow down because of the music industry being on shutdown.
Sure.
And being able to see like, well, what's going to matter for this next decade? Because October 17th, this particular year, marked 9 years that I've been in the industry. You know, so it's like, you know, next year is my 10th year anniversary for myself, which is like, it's not easy to last a decade in anything, you know, and we know this. And so, I have to remind myself daily. I even put a quote on here for your gift, for yours, because Joe has to have his. You know, but I think I wrote on there that the flowers you want to smell, you have to grow them yourself sometimes.
Wow. Thank you so much for these.
Of course.
Trinidad, what's it like to be 9 years?
Take them out of the box. Come on, man. You gotta touch the product.
Okay. 9 years in the industry. Look at these.
Is the paper different from?
The paper is different, so that's.
See, this man cares
wait,
about the
I got
packaging.
different paper than you
Yes,
guys?
okay, but we got them a couple months before you. But yeah, you do have the full retail.
Look at
package.
this.
Let me see the paper.
Yeah,
The
look at
paper
it.
is definitely a nice touch,
Because
man.
we're sneaker people. Like
It's a
you're not
nice
just a
touch.
rapper who got a shoe.
It's
You know
a
what I
nice
mean?
touch.
Sorry.
Okay, see, this is exactly what he did. Look at this. Look at this.
He just violated.
Look at this.
This
This is what he almost did with the
Velcro.
yes, on the diamond dunk, on the Canaries.
Rip my shoe apart.
Look at how it went from.
This is like Christmas.
It's a whole different ball
Look
game,
at how
right?
lonely it looks.
I told you. Listen.
Brendan is definitely the kid who like comes over your house and
Yes.
breaks your GI Joes.
Yes, and then leaves.
Very quick story. One time, I promise, so
Tell
quick.
it.
When we were so little as kids, my brothers and I opened up all the presents the day before Christmas. I don't know what was in our fucking head.
And you opened up your friend's presents, I'm sure, too.
No. It's because you want to touch it,
Dude, what are you doing? Crumpling it
Yeah.
right now?
Oh my
All right,
god.
give it,
Okay.
give it,
Okay.
give it,
Okay.
give it.
I can tell you never
Thank
worked in
you,
the
Welty.
sneaker industry because you're
Thank
messing
you,
up the
Welty.
packaging. You
Violating the
Welty.
product.
Violation.
can't sell it to another customer now.
Okay, Trinidad, what I want to ask,
He's trying to put it back all fancy.
I feel like a question I get asked so much is like, what would you ever do a sneaker collab? Or why don't you ever do a shoe? Like, I think it's more people outside the industry, like when I go home, or like, did you ever think about designing a shoe? And I'm like, you know, sometimes like you think about it, but it just never happens. Is it as good as the people on the outside, like as important of a feeling as the people on the outside? Because it's such a question that like I feel like we get a lot. What does it feel like? Like you've seen, you've done you have a show, you've waited in line, you've resold. What is it? Does it hit different?
Yes, it definitely does. Because I know exactly what you mean when you ask that question, because we've experienced it from every single angle, except for making an actual own thing.
Yeah.
And it's literally the last
own
particular.
thing.
It's the, nice
Sorry.
one.
I'm
It's
sorry.
actually the last piece on the pyramid. It's that the triangle point of the pyramid. It's the
top,
last
the
piece,
pinnacle.
the top.
Yep.
The pinnacle is like the top. And it's like you don't realize how important it is, how special it is until you're in the seat cooking. And it's like, you know, the first month of it or whatever, I was a little stressed. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you think about everybody else's opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't really get to design the shoe until I actually got out of my own way or whatever and just realized, okay, why did I ever get into sneakers for? I had to go and look at that old World Star video clip of me camping out in line to remind myself of that feeling.
Wait, there's a World Star clip of that?
Yeah, it's way back, way back. Because the Galaxy phone boxes was
That's
so
the
big.
phones.
Of course.
The phones.
You know what I'm saying? It was so big.
I just didn't know the video was online.
Is it crazy that at ComplexCon there was like lines for your shoes and you were the kid waiting in line?
Yeah. I mean, every aspect of this journey. I mean, every aspect of it. From I started talking to Saucony in 2018. And it's Saucony for anybody that really wants. It's not Saucony, it's Saucony.
Really? He kept it a secret from us. We didn't know.
They actually used to do print ads that I saw in the Source in like 1998, and they spelt it out Saucony, like phonetically, like.
Nah. So for anybody that wants to do your homework, Saucony.
And
Hommewrk.
okay,
You know?
pun intended.
Bang bang. But from 2018 of them commenting under me wearing a pair of Jazz, I was like, oh, well, we love this, boom, boom, boom. And me just taking the initiative to be like DMs, hey, we should do something, and them not understanding what that really meant, but me being ever so serious about it. I didn't even have a shoe design in my head at the time. It was just initiative, and I think that is the initiative and intention is what triggered it to really happen, because my intention was to not necessarily just be this big shoe designer or anything like that. It's more of like to just take back and get back into what I actually care about, which is fashion was my first passion before I ever touched the mic.
And I think it's cool too because you got to work with Jay from Saucony, who used to be at Extra Butter and designed.
Jason?
Yeah. Who designed a bunch of legendary sneaker collaborations, and then you get to work with him, who's like, he was like I don't want to say like a real designer, but like a guy who did a bunch of collaborations himself, and now he's at the brand, and then you get to like pick his brain and like work on the shoe.
No,
like,
it was awesome. That? Jay, he was the guy that I DM'd.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And then he was the guy that I went to go see the first time I walked into the office. You know what I'm saying? He was the guy that fought for me every single day when it was doubt. They've never done a collaboration with a person or an artist ever. They did one little thing with Wale back in the day, but it never came out, so it don't count. You know what I'm saying? So it was like he fought every time, before he even knew what he was fighting for. You know what I'm saying? He just believed in my spirit. But we built a real good relationship. He came to ComplexCon, what I'm saying, in 2019 before the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? He came to my booth that I did then. He started paying attention, and then, it was a beautiful thing. The pandemic kicked off. We were in quarantine on lockdown, not being able to do anything, especially like for me, like I said, my industry was on shutdown. So I was just like, I don't know what's about to happen. And, he was one of the first people that called with a blessing, like, yo, I'm head of collabs now at Saucony, and I want to push through projects that I believe are real things for the community. And he was like, do you still want to do the shoe? And we hadn't talked in a while from that 20 after the ComplexCon in 2019. We hadn't talked for, I guess that would be 4 months from, we do ComplexCon around November, and we don't talk till March.
Yeah. And then you're probably in your head, you're like, is this even going to happen? Like, I don't want to hit him up and be like, yo, what's good?
I never wanted to force it, man, because I truly, truly believe, like, things that you deserve, they will happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've went this long without it, and I've bought every single shoe under the sun. I've done everything in shoes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, it's like,
our life to this
and
shit.
then I look at people like, like I said, like the people who should have their own shoe and they don't have it. I was like, this just happens. It just happens. It's just a part of the game. I don't know what that is about, where like the real guys don't get a chance to make shoes. So it kind of like, you start to like not let that be the thing that defines you. It's just kind of more of your fuel to like find something else to make you feel good. But then he hit me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, let's get it.
Yeah.
But why did you keep it a secret from us?
I think that I kept it a secret. I'm really big on playing cards to the chest, close to the chest. That's just the game that I've always played my whole life.
The element of surprise is a gift?
That too,
Or you don't want to be let down if it doesn't happen?
Well, yeah, I didn't want to.
That's the worst.
That was definitely
you
a part of it.
Talk about stuff before it happens.
Yeah, I'm not big on that. I'm not big on it because
fair.
it's such a big thing for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to plant a seed that I actually can't grow. Or it's not even I can't grow, it just didn't happen. Like it just... it was a bum killer for me. So that's why I like to play things close to the chest. It's the way my pops raised me. And, I really wanted to make the shoe. I wanted to be proud of the shoe before I pitched it to people. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to impress myself. I really trust my taste when it comes to sneakers. I know I have a particular style. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to make sure I designed something that I loved, because if I wouldn't go buy it, then this is not the shoe. It's not the shoe.
How many iterations did you go through?
3.
Okay.
3.
Can you give us some insight as to what earlier versions looked like?
So the hardest part, the part that really, really, really crushed me was this part right here. This midsole right here, like this was killing me. The first one, it was kind of more of like, oh man, I got a sample. So it was just excitement to have a sample
in your hands,
in my hand of my thing, my creation. And then I kind of just sat with that for like a week, 10 days or whatever, just like excitement for 5 days. And then the next 5 days, okay, like what's the notes? You know what I'm saying? And I can't take all the credit. My creative director, her name is Asha Paul. I'm from LA. She's also Trinidadian like myself. She was like, hey, what's up? Like, what do you want to do? What you don't like, what you like, boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? And, I really appreciate like every shoe. Like I picked up every shoe at my crib in Miami for like to just look at it. Like I just looked at I touched every shoe, man. Like at least like 100 pairs, just like different ones. Just like wow.
Which one is there one that really resonated with you out of those 100 pairs?
I think that like I really did my homework and I know all puns intended on that. You know what I'm saying? I really looked at all the clots. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I went and checked out every single see-through shoe that was ever made.
The rollout was so sick. Like
he wore all see-through shoes last
Method
season,
to his
and now
madness.
this season you're wearing all black design shoes, which you're wearing yourself.
the marketing plan was me. Like
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't know what was going on, and
Because
it was
no,
like
and I love
we're
because
story guys. We're story guys.
Yeah.
So like that was what made it even the most special. When I came over here as an immigrant, one of the first set of sneakers my parents ever got me were Sauconys.
I didn't know that till you had said it on Full Size Run this week. I didn't know it until you had mentioned it to Travi that you're like, oh, my dad bought me the shoe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like this was one of the shoes that when I first came over as an immigrant, because it was affordable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that right there stuck in my mind. I was like, I do a C formula for my brand, which is comfort, colorway, cost.
Carol City Cartel.
As
Travis said.
You know what I'm saying? So, it was one of those type of things where it's like, look, man, if this brand, because it wasn't just about the sneaker, I had to make a brand, whatever.
It's not a Trinidad James. It's not Trinidad James Saucony. It's Hommewrk.
It's Hommewrk
Saucony,
time.
your brand.
I was
people,
like,
people
what?
can't
It's
lose sight of
built
that.
by like Hommewrk by Trinidad James times Saucony.
Yes. And, I wanted to make something that was community-driven, curriculum-based, because I didn't do well in school. And half of the reason why I didn't do well in school, because it wasn't appealing. It wasn't things that kept
Miss
me
Guthrie
intrigued.
couldn't keep you in line?
Miss Guthrie.
Miss Guthrie could not do it.
She get a pair?
And it's in the mail still. It's on the way. And, I wanted to make sure that I made that aspect of Hommewrk appealing to not just kids, but like to people our age.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all the way through, and the story was there. I remember reading the Gucci book, you know what I'm saying? I just read a lot of the Soul Collector magazine from like 08 with all the Air Force Ones in it. You know what I'm saying? Just like
The Gucci book, the one that the House of Gucci is based on?
Yes.
Oh,
because
see,
the
he's
crazy
have you seen
thing,
the movie yet?
Yes. The crazy thing about it is when I was reading that at the top of last summer, spring, when I read that was the first book I read when I went into like, okay, I'm finna do homework.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
And I was like, yo, this is a movie.
How good is the movie?
It's
movie.
legit. No, it's
love the
legit.
movie.
Like I totally enjoy it. But I remember saying to myself, I was like, I wish I was in the position to pitch this movie to a person, because I don't even know if people know how movie-like this family was.
Yeah.
And then boom, Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, crushed it. But that was the first book I read. The second book wasn't a book, it was a magazine. It was a Soul Collector magazine. Shout out to Nick DePaula.
Yeah.
Shout out to Clark Kent. For I had to source the magazine from those guys to get it. You know,
He didn't ask us.
I'm sure I think there actually is like a safe
Somewhere.
It was a guy on eBay or whatever. Like he wouldn't sell me the joint.
In the office, there's like a safe that they like kept like every single.
Nick was like, Nick was like, I have that magazine, but like where it is, like it took him like a couple weeks, but he was a stand-up guy and he actually sent it to me.
will sort you out next time.
Zach.
Shout out to Zach.
Boom, that. And then, I also read books that was like for dummies, because this was new. I didn't want to take that ego and pride that we have from being collectors and being aficionados into designing the sneaker. So, my creative director, Asha, she bought me the book, How to Make Shoes.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I read that book of like how to make shoes. Like, why do people buy shoes? You know what I'm saying? What do people like? I went walking around Miami. I travel a lot. You guys know I travel a lot. And I just would walk the streets or whatever, New York or whatever, and just look at people who I felt were like, these are everyday people. Like, what are they wearing? You know what I'm saying? Why are they wearing it? What colors are they wearing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what it allows me to put the least amount of Trinidad sauce to it.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and it feel like just a brand. So that's why we did primary colors. Or whatever is like in first grade. You know what I'm saying? Everything curriculum based. You know what I'm saying? Yellow, blue, red. Start there. Those are colors that everybody's membrane mindset I know that. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you know it for, like you know it. And I was like, let's start there. This is first season. Let's go primary colors. Let's do a comfortable shoe. The Jazz, it was the 40th anniversary of the Jazz. This is the sneaker that I came over.
lined up.
Bang. This is the sneaker that I came over to America and got from my parents. The story there alone, what I'm saying, is just inspirational.
Can we talk about talking about Trinidad? Can we talk about the controversy and like the headache that it gave you with Trinidad?
Oh yeah, so I said, like I told you in the beginning of this, is amazing, man, to get those headaches, to get those problems. Hard copy, an amazing.
You've worked with him, yeah.
Yeah, well, we've worked with them.
Right?
Yeah. It's a hard copy, like hard copy.
Yeah.
I love what
their aesthetic,
they do. I love what they do. That aesthetic is amazing. So it was an honor to get, so when I reached out,
for them to
I'd been reached out too. Like I had been reached out, like, yo, man, I got a thing coming, or whatever. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, when you're ready, here's my email.
Account. Yeah.
Or whatever. I said, okay, cool. All right, bet. So boom, when the time actually came around, or whatever, like things went from like, it's going to you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, it's like, boom, boom, like I gotta spit out orders, I gotta boom, like manufacturing, cut and sew is kicking my ass, or whatever. And so in the midst of that, I started, like, everything started picking back up. I feel like the second half of this year, things have really picked back up, especially these last 4 to 5 months of just like everything in my life, even from the music industry, everything. And so I reached out to him like, hey man, boom, boom, boom. Here are the pictures. Shout out to A-Rap Lincoln for crushing.
Tyler Mansour.
He shot it?
He shot it. Oh,
wow,
of course.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he shot it. He crushed it. I mean, that's my guy. Like, that's I reached out to him a minute ago because it was just like, I just wanted to do it right.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't want to cheat anything. I didn't want to rely on Trinidad James to sell this shoe. I wanted to do a good brand, do good business, and let people like it because it's like, this is a legit brand. The quality is on point. The price point is on point. You know what I'm saying? Like, just everything about it. And so I wanted to reach out to the people and the resources and the things that, like, really matter. I felt like, you know what? If I'm going to use Trinidad James, per se, for something, I'm going to use it to do business with people who do business.
Yeah.
And so Tyler crushed it. I sent those pictures to Hard Copy. And in the midst of it, like, I sent him over info, and I was like, yo, boom, boom, this is it right here. He put it up or whatever, boom, emailed it to me. I was excited, like, yeah, boom.
Yeah, this
posted
is the story
it up,
behind the shoe.
got on the plane.
You didn't read like every.
Yeah, just didn't really. I was like, why it's hard copy? It doesn't matter. Like, this is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a hard copy. Put it up or whatever. I think I posted it on Twitter before I posted it on IG.
Okay.
I posted on Twitter. It was up for a day. People was like, yo, that's what's up. Boom, boom, boom. I posted it on IG and got on a plane. Got on that plane.
The Wi-Fi, it's tough.
Wi-Fi.
The fly-fi not connecting. Yep.
Weird, you know what I'm saying? But I fell asleep because I love to sleep on planes. That's why I get most of my sleep on planes.
You wake up to a million notifications
Wake
on your
up
phone.
or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, the Wi-Fi wasn't working. That's when we even made me go to sleep.
Fly-fi sometimes.
It wasn't working when I first got on.
JetBlue Wi-Fi?
I'm a Delta guy.
Okay.
I'm a
Thank
Delta
you.
guy.
Same.
Thank you.
I'm a
How's
Delta
the medallion
guy.
looking?
Yeah.
It's a diamond.
Ooh.
Wait a minute. When you have the diamond, you can give somebody a gold, I think, right?
What? No.
Somebody gave me a gold once, and you are Mr. All Gold Everything, so let's talk, because if you have a spare medallion, I'm looking a little light. Go on.
And so, boom, the Wi-Fi wasn't working when I first got on. I went to sleep. I was like, I'm going to sleep. Or whatever. When I woke up, I checked the Wi-Fi. Was working. All right, boom. I get on or whatever, and Twitter is on fire.
Yikes.
I said, no. What, I was like, what's
The
going on?
Trinidadian ambassador is calling you up.
Oh, man. So everybody in Trinidad, Trinidad Black Twitter is going in. And basically, information wasn't written right and was wrong. It said that the hibiscus, which these are the hibiscuses, was the Trinidad's national flower, which is not. The Trinidad's national flower is the chacunia.
Okay.
And then it's also called.
But this wasn't your idea wasn't, it's the hibiscus,
No, it
just
was
got-
that so many things hit my head. So I had handling so many things, not just the shoe. I would have like so many things like dad socks, this, that, ComplexCon. You know what I'm saying? Like getting ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Like that
We're
is
busy.
like these things are like every. You know what I'm saying? Once we're in season, like it's every week.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, you know, they will get on me or whatever about that. And what I had to do was just like as soon as I landed, I went straight, got on camera or whatever, you know, and then just I was like, you know what, I'm not leaving this up to somebody else. I am my own PR. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Nobody
you know
else
what?
is going to tell your story.
Because I was like, you know, I called Asha, created that. I was like, yo, why did we do the hibiscus? Like, am I tripping? Like, what am I doing? And she was like, no, your favorite drink is sorrel, and that's a drink in Trinidad, a Trinidadian drink, a Caribbean drink, should I say? And I mean, actually, they drink it in Africa too, but you can make it out of the hibiscus flower, and that is why we use the hibiscus flower. 2 reasons: that reason for the drink, and then in Trinidad, Anton's Gold Jewelry, where I buy a lot of gold for myself and my family, they use the hibiscus flower, the tropical one, which is on the back of the tongue of your sneaker, to make gold pieces out of that flower.
Got it.
And I've bought that for my sister, my mother, or whatever. So that is the reason why we used it. The Chacunia, which is our national flower in Trinidad, had nothing to do with it. It's just moving too fast, not proofreading. These are the type of things that happen. That's why, you know, you do your homework, but you got to proofread your homework. You know, and then Trinidad is not a town. And that was just something that
Did they write in
that
hard
is what
copy that it was
hard
a
copy
town?
wrote that, but he didn't write it to be disrespectful. Of course, he would never.
just
That's not his. That's how we talk here in America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in Trinidad, you know, you have to be considered a country.
He said your hometown
Town.
of
And
Trinidad, not meaning,
Yeah.
but just saying that's where you're from.
Yeah, that's American
Got
talk. But
you.
people in Trinidad took it as like Trinidad is
We're-
not a
we're a
town.
country.
And,
Da-da-da-da.
yeah, it's like we're a country. We're a big island. or
Especially
whatever.
for you, because you're that guy. You're Trinidad
Exactly.
James.
And
I
so,
feel like
you know, and you know, and I love that. Like I said, the things that was like bad or whatever, it end up being so positive because I end up doing press all through Trinidad from everything,
and then they
every
all wanted
radio
to buy your
station,
shoe.
every news, and like that really everybody, like even my family members, like I was on the newspaper, everything or whatever because of that, because I handled it.
Yeah, people really respected the video.
Yes.
I saw
My
that.
favorite part is I got to see Trinidad, or got to hear Trinidad break out the patois.
You
Well,
got
everyone
to.
was commenting.
You
on
got
that,
to, you got to, man. You got to, like, you know, it was just, I love that, like, you know what, those fires. Like, you know, I even told people, I was like, you know, try and scan my website. You know, so I told my scammer friends, like, try and scan my website so I can see what that is, because I want to know every aspect of the game.
How does this
you know,
actually
even on the
work?
resale aspect, you know, I've been waiting for shoes to hit StockX, so I don't want it to because I'm not into the hype. That's why I didn't put it. I know people at StockX. I could have put my shoe up there early and be like, yo, 10,000.
You called Dan Gilbert personally.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would've
I
done
know
that.
Nick Gilbert, his son, you know, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have done that or whatever, but I was just like, nah, bro, I want this brand to be for people who want the shoe, because I feel like Saucony has always been if you know, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember Saucony. I don't know if you remember the Shadows, the Courageous, and the Jazz finish line days. We used to blow out of them. Like they would just, it would just, and a lot of them were white on white with the different color logo.
Yep.
But those used to sell like crazy back in the day
era.
at finish line.
Era.
Are you trying to sell the shoes in Trinidad? Is there?
Yeah,
you figured out a
so
way? I
you
feel
know,
like you gotta
as we
bring it
do
back.
more colorways, you know, one of the colorways I'm gonna do it just solely in Trinidad because it's so limited.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense. I mean, obviously we sold 150 pairs of ComplexCon in 3 hours, so it's like it doesn't even make sense for me to even put the ones I want to sell in Trinidad online. So I'm just going to do a really nice pop up.
Oh, that's cool.
Are
It's
we
gonna be
going?
really cool. Pop out.
Let's do it.
Pop out for the pop up.
We diamond medallion. You? I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so
Come
Buying
through.
gold in Trinidad?
if he take,
Oh, for sure.
this is the guy to take you around.
I need the
Amen.
gold medallion before I get the gold necklace.
Trinidad,
guy.
did all 13 people on your guest list show up to ComplexCon?
Yes, man. Yes. I mean,
he was hitting me up about No, were you saying you like had to put like so many people in for Trinidad or whatever?
Yeah, it
for
was a
sure.
big
I had,
moment.
I had a big order. I
Yeah.
had a big order, and Joe came through for me. You know what I'm saying? I knew that after I went past 10, I was like, yo, I'm pushing it.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
We deserved it, though.
One person did not show up, right?
Who?
Conceded.
Yeah.
Right?
Which was crazy to me, but the thing about it was like after you said that he was family, I didn't really worry about it no more. Like when he reached out to me, I was just like, and that was another thing too. I was like, yo, people who are like actually friends of the family, the celebrities, like, bro, y'all just come through.
You'll be
just
good.
what I'm
like
saying?
someone's gonna let you in.
Yeah,
Like you don't have to
bro,
worry
come
about.
through. Like I don't want them to
Definitely.
worry about it. Like ComplexCon is family, is home to people like that. Whoever you are.
Speaking about ComplexCon, we've talked about the marketing a lot, but the bags, the big bags,
We were in a bag.
stroke of
like
genius.
Thank you.
Huh?
They're selling on Grailed for like $100 or something like that.
Talk about that. Whose idea was that? And you and I were talking about it.
Yeah, I was talking to Rich Antonello.
How smart, Rich, A.
Rich. I mean,
was
Rich.
hyped on the bag.
Rich really
Just great
appreciated
branding.
it. Rich really appreciated my approach. He appreciated me having 3 booths, what I'm saying, at ComplexCon. But with the bags, to go about what we're talking about here, I can't take full credit for that. Shout out to my girl Poom, who works for the Design Army. She was the genius behind bringing that booth to life. The booth that we...
Which booth? Because you had 3 booths.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Come
the
on.
Saucony booth. The Saucony booth. The booth that we were going to do, was crazy.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, look, we got to scale this down some because like certain things was just, the union was making it hard or whatever to do. And then you already had a kingdom over here from Kerwin or whatever, because we wanted to build a school. Like a mini school or whatever. Like we were going in. But we, I love what we ended up doing. And Poom wanted to make up for, because people love to be challenged.
Yep.
And like when it comes to creativity, me and Asha, like we go there. If you challenge us, we're gonna come with something that's like, hey bro, this is the thing. And so when she couldn't do that, she felt challenged to bring things to the table that would impress us. And she did. And one of the things was that bag. And as soon as I saw it, it might have been a little bit different or whatever. I was like, make it as big as possible because I think it was going to be regular or whatever. And I was like, I want it to be as big as possible. And the idea behind it was like, you know what? People shop here at ComplexCon. I want you to take your bags and put it in our bag. Or whatever, so that no matter
You
what.
said it was based off of the opening
ceremony.
Oh,
open
okay.
Ceremony. Open ceremony crushed a big bag, backing it out. RIP to the GOATs. You know what I'm saying? I remember that bag distinctly. I was like, yo, this bag is insane. How whatever. So like bringing that feeling to ComplexCon.
It's an important life
You had a
lesson.
big moment with the bag, literally on Full Size Run.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The one and only Glizzock.
Key Glock, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Young Key Glock. That's when we debuted the bag on Full Size Run. RP to Dolph, his cousin,
of course.
family. But it's just that feeling alone that let me know that this bag was going to do well.
He was genuinely excited about it.
Yeah. And when I saw that, because he's a very stand-up guy, street dude, how whatever. When I was seeing him excited about it, he's a young dude too. I was like, okay, cool, we got something here. It was amazing. And I want to give a big shout out to Poom, because once again, intention, what I was telling you earlier, Joe, of like what really made this thing a thing, how whatever, is that she was the first person to say 2 days before ComplexCon, we had our final board meeting on Zoom, and she was like, well, what happens if they sell out? And I hadn't thought about that.
The shoes?
The shoes. I didn't think about that.
Really?
Like, what are you going to do for the rest of the weekend?
I didn't think about that at all. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like Did
you hold pairs back for the second day?
I didn't know. We sold because
3 o'clock. He was like, we're done.
We're done. We were done. So we sold out in
Saturday.
3.5 hours. 4 hours technically. If we want to be, we sold out, and I was like, yo, we don't have no more shoes anywhere. You know what I'm saying? We ended up selling the shoes that were on our desk. We had shoes on the desk.
Pair, right?
So we sold those.
He tried to go up there first, and you said that you don't have your size. You had like size 14 left or something like that.
Yep. And so we ended up selling all the desk. I made people buy the desk to get the shoes, and I donated all the money to the school. We donated all the money to the school. Everything's for sale. We donated the money to the school, Creed Academy, because that's the school I was going to donate the desk to anyway. But they needed the money more than that's a black-owned school. That's why we shot the commercial that you got. That Complex
did the uniforms for the kids.
Did the uniforms for the kids.
The moment every pair was sold out, what'd you do after?
I kind of just like
hit the First We Feast Lagoon.
I was just man. I was at
what
my
was
other
it like?
booths.
Every pair gone. What was that moment?
They texted me that or whatever. Asha texted me that. Jason texted me that, and That's the thing, Joe. That's the thing. That is really the thing. It was like, I didn't know how I feel if I had a shoe that sold out. And then when it sold out, my business mind kicked on and was like, damn it, we should have had more pairs.
Right.
Because I would have sold all day.
Right. We're so in tune to think like instead of really enjoying, look at what we just did.
Yeah, it's like if you get 1 billion views on an episode for sneaker shopping, now your mind doesn't go to
next week.
It's like I want to get 2 billion.
Bill Belichick, we're on to Seattle.
So that's literally what happened to me, because I was in my other booth, or whatever, like, the All Go Everything booth is not killing it, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But dang, this booth right here just killed it. Dad Socks is killing it, or whatever. So my mind was like in the All Go Everything booth, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Appreciating it, like, and knowing that like you should appreciate this, but at the same time still feeling like, I wish I had more shoes.
Yeah. Speaking of All Gold Everything, in your head, how you compartmentalize all these wins, what's bigger for you, doing that multi-platinum record or doing this sneaker?
The sneaker.
Really?
The sneaker. Because music is not my passion. Music is something I do well and I make money from because I do it well. You know what I'm saying? But fashion is my actual passion. Sneakers is what I come from. That World Star video clip of me camping 5 days, I haven't done nothing in that extreme for music, ever. Okay. I've done extreme things for sneakers, but I've never done anything extreme for music. Music has been something that it worked out for me because of timing and because of the work I put in. You know what I'm saying? So All Go Everything was the start of success 9 years ago. And every other win after that has been a win that I've earned. You know, so like to be able to have a shoe that sells out and, you know, God willing, have another shoe that's going to sell out next year.
Have you guys seen this before?
Yeah, I've seen that one. Actually, because my brother David he keeps bugging me about getting a pair, and he's hyped for the black pair. But I'm not going to say when the black pair is coming.
Right. Next year.
You got to wait. You got to wait on
next
that.
year is coming.
Just make sure that you don't ruin David's tissue paper.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So talk about the black pair.
Yeah. So you know, these are going to be these are the black pair for next year. This is what's coming next. These are gonna crush.
What's the inspiration behind these?
So these are the steel pans. So steel pan is an instrument from the percussion family.
Pay attention, hard copy.
You know
Make sure you.
This is steel pans. It's a steel pan that's stitched behind the tongue. My favorite instrument, my cousin actually, Renee in Trinidad, she played steel pan growing up. I've loved the instrument.
That's
I love
like
the sound
drum,
of it.
like the very
big barrel type drum. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just this collection is dedicated to Trinidad. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we just wanted to stay heavy with it. This is the first sneaker, and I'll tell you guys this or whatever that has triple glow. Or whatever, so it's
3 different colors.
3 different color glows ever. So that's the first sneaker ever to have triple glow on it. So that's a killer. That's a killer. Like no sneaker's ever done that. So Saucony is very proud to be a part of that. And for me, I'm like I said, Joe, once again, being intentional is like I'm trying to be a contender for sneaker of the year next year. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like. Hey, Saucony is in the chat. Mm-hmm. We're here. We sold out. We keep selling out. Like I've sold out at ComplexCon last week when I dropped or whatever. We sold out on my store. I sold out Wish, Social Status. You know what I'm saying? So
overseas,
it's like
you had a few in Germany.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We in UK. We in Spain. And we're growing. You know what I'm saying? We're growing, and like I said, this is my first thing. And how you start, it doesn't necessarily mean. I just want to finish even stronger.
Yeah. I think a cool moment, too, is season finale, last season of Full Size Run, we have Fab on the show, and we're all wearing the shoes, and Fab's like, Trinidad, where are my shoes at? And you sent him the shoes,
Amen.
And then he posted up and saying thank you for all of it.
Who got a pair
big deal?
It's
like Fabulous. Awesome. Fabulous gets. Every free shoe, you know what I mean? Every Reggie package there is,
facts.
So for him to get your shoe and actually post it and actually care, I mean, not that he wouldn't care, but you know what I mean?
Care. That's facts.
He actually wanted it. It wasn't just like a bit for the show or like, yo, where's my shoes? He's like, I understand this.
It's
and
love,
it's Fab.
Bro. Yeah. And that's why I said it's like, being intentional. Like I want to be a contender for Sneaker of the Year. I want to design from, and just get better. And get better. Like I'm just learning.
Was there one person that you really enjoyed gifting a pair?
Thug was special for his birthday with
Nice.
the Pink album coming and all that. You know what I'm saying? To be able to gift him these sneakers with the Pink Dad socks. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the first like celeb to get the shoe. Which
He
is
said celeb because he gave us the shoes before that, but he doesn't consider us
you know what I'm saying?
celebs. Just so we're clear.
And to me that's even cool where I'm in control of this sneaker. Or whatever. The fact that I could give Welty and Brendan the sneaker before I give any famous person that people consider, you know, a certain type of famous. I was like, that's how I want to treat this brand. Like, give it to the real people first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what mattered to me.
What is your sneaker of the year?
My sneaker of the year is going to be either Joe or James.
Okay.
Joe or James, but
The three
but,
or the new three or the one?
It's really three shoes. Like the Trinidad James to me is actually Yoon for the Blue Ambush. Like that's
The dunk.
That dunk. Like
Yeah.
I love
Really?
that because that's me.
The blue with the black
blue,
swoosh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
see
me.
it.
That's
Okay.
me all day.
Yeah.
That's me all day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But that three is really good. That's
Yeah.
a really good three from James. And then those New Balances from Joe are awesome.
Yeah.
You know what
New
I'm saying?
Balance is top 5 for me for sure.
Yeah, you know, like for sure. I love Soleil's New Balance colorway
Yeah.
that he did this year too. That bluish one, the water one. Not the Europe is cool, but he dropped the other one, the 2002 joint.
Yeah, 2002 R. I mean, Trinidad, you're so big on supporting black designers, and you've mentioned a handful of them in talking about your sneaker of the year. I feel like we talked about it this week on Full Size Run, but we should talk about Virgil Abloh and his impact and what his sneakers meant to you. I've seen you in a lot of Off-White sneakers over the years. Like, what were your interactions with the work or with the man himself?
It's interesting, but the main things I'll say is this: that I haven't met him that many times. The beautiful thing I remember about him is him complimenting my boots. I had on some yellow Calvin Klein boots in Miami one time, and he was DJing a party. I went to his party, and you know, he just was like, "Man, you always have great boots." Like that is what people know Trinidad James for having great boots. And I appreciated that because he's a really great designer. But I can't say that like we were friends. Like I'm not close with him like how everybody else was.
Sure.
That sneaker right there was probably the most I've spent on a sneaker in the last 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, why did I do this? I would ever like at first, but then I was like, you know what? I have no regrets. You know what I'm saying? I have no regrets because that's how good of a designer is. Like he could take a shoe that we've seen 100 times and put a touch on it that makes you forget all about what you did before. So, I think that he's always reminded us to take a different approach. Don't overthink. You know what I'm saying? I thought about Virgil when I was designing my sneakers. I was like, don't overthink. Like I said, I spent a month of overthinking.
Yeah.
A month of overthinking,
You
stressing
said you
myself
designed
out.
that in one session, sitting down.
And I also love that it totally falls in line with everything that you're hearing this week about how he's DJing at a party in Miami, and the first thing he says to you is he compliments your boots. And it just falls in line with everything that people are saying about how he picked anecdotes for each person, no matter who it was, to kind of make them feel special in a moment where he was like the draw. Amen. And that's just invaluable, and I think something that we could all learn from him.
Also, I did, while I was doing some Virgil research this week, I found an old blog post from his on the Brilliance, the site that he used to contribute to, that he was a part of it. It was just a random Trinidad James mention. This is from, I guess, 2011 or 12, whenever All Gold popped off, and he was talking about the speed of the internet, and he said even the puppy from Trinidad James's music video probably has a Twitter account at this point.
Look at that.
Does it? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's thanks for sharing that story. That's
No, his family, continuing greatness, and find a way back to peace, find a way back to, love, and he will want us to carry on, and that's what we must do as designers, for myself and other black-owned designers and black owners, find a way to live. Find something to live for and design for the right purpose, design with the right intention, and you will get the success you deserve.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a great place to end. Congratulations. Like I said, you were like family to us, but to see you design sneakers, to see them do so well, to see ComplexCon kids waiting in line. We're, personally very proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It's and can't wait to see how you build. You're always on to the next project. So
amen.
Thank you for being here with us. Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see Full Size Run every Thursday too.
Oh,
Can't forget about that.
Amen.
This has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Like, subscribe. We will see you guys next week.